Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. This is Clash of the Titans, a video series here at Guy Boston Sports where I go through every single big-time college football matchup, giving you guys deeper insight, deeper analysis, but more importantly, more picks for each of these big-time pivotal showdowns. In today's video, we are covering the latest edition of the Lone Star Showdown between number 3 ranked Texas A&M going on the road to take on number 16 ranked Texas, and a game that does have some pretty big implications for the college football playoff, for the SEC championship, and so much more. And as always, guys, I've got some really great picks to go ahead and share with you. But first, guys, as always, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. Before we get started here, a couple of things very quickly. First and foremost, comment down below who you think is going to win this latest edition of the Lone Star Showdown between A&M and Texas. Let me know down below which side you're riding with, as well as any other plays you like for this game. And one more thing before we go ahead and dive into the picks, I want to talk to you guys about our special promo we are running over at the Fade Me store to celebrate Black Friday and Cyber Monday and the whole obviously holiday shopping season. We are offering a special promotion right now through December 2nd. We are offering up to 50% off on our apparel over at the Fade Me store. All of our clothing lines, Gambler, Just Bet It, Beers and Bets, all that stuff, all up to 50% off on the website. Hoodies, hats, t-shirts, shorts, you name it, we've got over there in the apparel. The link is down below in the description for the Fade Me website. Although there's no promo code required here, everything on the store up to 50% off through December 2nd. So make sure, go ahead and take advantage of this special offer for your loved ones, for yourself. I'm a big time like Black Friday shopping. Yes, I buy for my loved ones, but I do buy a couple extra little treats for myself on Black Friday. Obviously, there's no better treat to get for yourself than the gift of a Gambler hoodie, perhaps, maybe a Just Bet It shirt. You name it, we've got it. So go ahead and check that out again. Up to 50% off through December 2nd. With all that out of the way, guys, let's go ahead and break down Texas A&M and Texas. All right, guys, I have 3 picks in today's video. We have a spread pick, a total pick, and a player prop to go ahead and close out the video. So getting things started, our first pick in today's video, our spread pick, I'm going very simply, not taking, any chances here. We're going A&M with the Aggies, -2.5. Look, I guess some people are going to rock Texas in this spot. I actually have seen a healthy amount of people backing Texas in this spot. But this is A&M all the way. A&M has proved us all season long this team is legit. Texas, on the other hand, Before we go ahead and just break down the numbers in terms of the data, let's just go ahead and look at what these seasons have looked like for both these teams. Obviously, for A&M, they're undefeated 11-0. They've covered the spread of -2.5 in every game except for 2. The Notre Dame game, which they won by 1 point, and the South Carolina game, which they won by 1 point. But long story short, they've been pretty good. From an overall standpoint, 63% hit rate against the spread. Pretty good numbers across the board here for the Aggies. You also have the insight provided by Outlier. A&M is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games versus top 25 scoring defenses. We can go ahead and take a look at that metric. That includes 3 games this season: Missouri, LSU, and Notre Dame. And, well, I guess Notre Dame actually didn't fit the description because they didn't cover the spread in that game. But the LSU last year, actually, LSU, Missouri twice, once this year each, once last year each. Those are a couple of top 25 defenses they did go ahead and cover the spread against. The only miss here was Texas. Now, that's obviously something we have to go ahead and look at here. These two teams did play last season at College Station, and the Longhorns did win that game 17-7. So you have that extra motivation factor for the Aggies here. You know, they lost last year at home to the Texas team. Now this year, traveling at Texas, they can go ahead and obviously get a measure of revenge here on the road and coming off of the loss last year. But the real thing I want to talk about here was the Longhorns, excuse me. And the Longhorns this year, look, I just haven't been all that impressed. And I understand they have good numbers. They have good players, a lot of NFL level talent on this team. They're well coached for the most part. I understand, and they're obviously a big brand. I know why people keep backing the Longhorns and wanting them to succeed here. They still, despite being a 3-loss team, if they win this game, have an actual real shot of making the CFP. Now, I don't think they should, considering they're a 3-loss team, but let's say Miami loses to Pitt this weekend. I don't know. A win over A&M would obviously boost their resume in a big way. Maybe, just maybe, the Longhorns can sneak into that 12 seed. Who knows? But they got to win to do that, and I don't think they're going to win here. I mean, we've seen them get tested a few times here. The most recent one being that Georgia game at Georgia, where they got smoked 35-10. That, to me, was the final indicator. If they could even hang around with Georgia in that game, I would say, you know what, this Texas team, maybe they are for real. But that Georgia loss just told me everything I needed to know about the Longhorns. And I think A&M is better than Georgia. I just don't see Texas really having that great of a game here. Even when they have won some big games, they beat Vanderbilt by 3. A win's a win, but it was a narrow victory. Obviously, a back and forth ball game. The only real big win they had, where it's like they beat a good team and they beat them handily, was Oklahoma, which is their kind of claim to fame this year, was that Oklahoma win. But John Mateer wasn't even 100% in that game. I think if they play again today, I think Oklahoma bests them. I think they had the advantage of the fact that John Mateer was not playing at 100%. That obviously affected that game big time. But losses to Ohio State, Florida, Georgia, and again, the Georgia loss really was telling. Their wins, they won Kentucky by 3, Mississippi State by 1 score. You can't impress me with 52-37 over Arkansas. They still give up 37 points to that Arkansas offense. I'm just not blown away by their resume. Even their wins, to me, wins are wins, but these narrow wins, I just haven't seen Texas be this dominant force that I think people thought they were going to be this year. And you're facing off with an A&M team that has been that dominant force this year. They have some good wins. They crushed Missouri at Missouri. They beat Notre Dame early in the year by 1, but Notre Dame obviously a top 10 team in the country. Now they struggled with Arkansas a little bit, so there's that, but they crushed LSU. They beat down on Florida. They beat down on Mississippi State. They have some more impressive wins, in my opinion. And it's not like they've beaten the gauntlet of a schedule, but they've won their games pretty handily with a few exceptions. I'm rambling a bit here, but all of this to say, I think A&M is a more proven commodity. Texas is fun in theory, but their resume just hasn't really been there for me to go ahead and say, yeah, let's take the Longhorns here. I'm not trusting of them enough. They haven't done enough this year to make me believe they can win in a spot like this. Looking down to the right side of the screen, this is obviously the numbers really do paint the picture here. And I think A&M has big advantages on both sides of the football. Looking at A&M's offense, top 10 scoring offense, 30th in passing yards per game, 25th in rushing yards per game. Very good offensive line. Top 10 in QB hits allowed, fewest QB hits allowed. They do turn the ball over a little bit, and obviously the Longhorns defense does force turnovers here. But that's really the only negative metric, really. Everything else looks pretty good for the most part for this Aggies offense. Now, Texas defense has been their calling card this year. It's been dominant, top 25 scoring defense, top 10 run defense in the nation. That obviously is huge because A&M is a very good running team. But their pass defense leaves something to be desired. 107th in the nation, giving up 242.8 passing yards per game this year. You're facing off with a top 30 passing team in the nation. Marcel Reed, one of the better quarterbacks in college football. You can throw on Texas. It's been done in recent games. We've seen quarterbacks have big performances here. That's a big weak spot there for the Longhorns. Flipping it over now, the Longhorns offense versus A&M's defense. A&M also very strong defensively. One of the best, if not the best, pass rush in college football. Second in sacks per game, top 4 in QB hits, second in tackles for loss. The difference here being that A&M has the offensive line that can sustain Texas's pass rush. Texas, their offensive line, the same can't be said. Tied for 77th in sacks allowed per game, tied for 88th in QB hits, tied for 99th in tackles for loss. So their offensive line is not nearly as good as A&M's, and they're facing a very potent pass rush that can put pressure on Arch Manning, and we have seen this year, Arch Manning under pressure, not that good. Texas, they don't really run the ball very well, 110th in the nation, averaging 121.6 rushing yards per game. Even if they did, doesn't matter because A&M top 30 run defense in terms of yards per game. But the big thing here is that Texas' strength has been Arch Manning in that passing game, which admittedly, I know I've kind of shit on Texas a lot in this video, but it has been better of late. Unfortunately, you're going up against the top 25 pass defense in Texas A&M. That's been proven against some pretty good offenses. The one real downside, this is the one weakness here, is if you get in the red zone against A&M, the red zone defense is not good. Tied for 130th in the nation in red zone efficiency defensively. Now, the thing is, Texas in the red zone offensively, not too efficient, but that is obviously a big area of weakness for this A&M defense that could be exploited in this spot. That's really it, though. Everything else to me points to A&M in this game. They're on the road. That's the only other big advantage Texas has. They have the home field advantage, but I don't know how much that means. Again, it's going to be a good one, a really good battle, but I do think A&M is the better team here and should come out on top by at least 3 points. And we're grabbing it for minus 103 over on Novig, so it's almost even odds. Really good value. All right, guys, so my second pick in today's video is the total. We're going the over 50.5 points, which I'm grabbing for minus 134 again over on Novig. And I know last year's game 17-7 obviously was a lower scoring affair, but looking at both these teams this season, A&M a very heavy over team, right? 73% of their games have cashed this line of over 50.5. Now let's go see. Last time out they played, I'm not even sure what school that is, Sam. Not even fully sure what school that is, but that game didn't cash the over, although A&M scored 48 points. Sam did not score any points in that one. But in 5 consecutive games prior to that, there's over 50.5 cash, and that includes some games against Missouri, South Carolina, LSU, Arkansas. A&M's defense is pretty good, but they have been able to give up points. Look back to the Notre Dame game, right? 41-40. They rank pretty well, but they can give up points this season. So Texas offense, which isn't great necessarily, but they're good enough to at least score, I don't know, 20 points in this game. I think like 30-24 or 31-24 A&M is a very realistic score in this game, which obviously blows past the over here. And you have an A&M team that has scored a healthy amount of points all season long. Now, Texas side of things, the under has been more prevalent, but we have seen 3 of the last 4 games these overs cash. The Arkansas game, the Vanderbilt game, the Mississippi State game, so pretty high scoring affairs. Even Georgia, that game was close. It's just that Texas didn't pick up their weight in that game. Georgia scored 35 points. I mean, yeah, Georgia scored 35 points against the Longhorns defense. Texas, though, only 10 points in that game. So I think the over is probably the better play in this spot. We also have this nice little insight provided by Outlier. The over has hit in 6 of the Aggies' last 8 games versus top 25 scoring defenses. Again, that Texas game last year being one of the few outliers in the data. But for the most part, when they played better competition, they have had these higher scoring games. So I think Texas offense is good enough, although they didn't show it in the Georgia game. They should be able to go ahead and add at least 20 to 24 points. And then I think A&M can kind of take it from there. But I think the over, again, compared to the under, I think the over is a good spot. And we're grabbing it at 50.5, which is obviously very strong value. All right, guys, we have one more pick in today's video, our player prop pick. But before I go ahead and share that with you guys, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Novig. Guys, if you have not dabbled into peer-to-peer exchanges, you are absolutely missing out. Using Novig allows you to get unbeatable prices and lines on just about every game. Why? Because as other users who are setting the lines, they are setting the odds. You're competing with the other users, not the big-time books. Peer-to-peer is growing at an absolutely crazy rate, and you don't want to be late to this. Sign up for Novig today. Use the link down below in the description or the pinned comment. Bet $5 and get $50 in bonus bets. It's that easy. It's that simple. As you can see from this video, both of our picks so far, the best odds available to us were from Novig. So Novig is the way to go, and that's typically the case for a lot of these games. NFL, college football. Novig typically offers the best lines. So make sure to go ahead and check them out one more time. Link down below in the description or the pinned comment. Use that special promo link. Bet $5, get $50 in bonus bets today. Obviously, Thanksgiving holiday weekend, tons of action going on between NFL, college football. Having that free $50 in bonus bets could come in handy. So shout out to Novig for sponsoring today's video. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This video is actually coming out on Thanksgiving night. I'm recording this Thanksgiving morning before we head over to my family's. So happy Thanksgiving. I know most of you will watch this on Friday, so that's why I didn't kick off the video saying it. But hope you guys had a great holiday with lots of food, beer, football, and so on and so forth. Or, you know, not beer if you're not old enough, of course. To be fair, though, if you're watching this video, you should be the legal drinking age. So, all right, wrapping up here. Our final pick, our player prop pick here. We have Marcel Reed for Texas A&M over 1.5 touchdown passes. And surprisingly, this is I don't really get it. This is a plus money play. We're grabbing it for plus 111 over on DraftKings bets odds available to us. It kind of feels a bit like a trap, I'm going to be honest, because everything points to this over, and I don't get it. I'm going to chalk it up as we're just getting great value here, and I think that people are overhyping the Texas defense, but plus 111 for this player prop is crazy. The reason why it's crazy, Marcel Reed has cashed this in 82% of his games this season. That's 9 of 11 games he's cashed the over. He's averaging 2.27 touchdown passes per game this year. Only twice this year has he failed to cash the over. The Auburn game where he threw 0 touchdowns, and the Florida game where he threw just 1 touchdown. Now, from a head-to-head perspective, he didn't throw a touchdown last year when these two teams played, but again, this is a new year, and that actually, to me, just adds an extra layer of motivation for Marcel Reed, the fact that he didn't throw a touchdown last year against Texas. We also have the insight provided by Outlier. He's cashed this in 5 straight games on the road, averaging 2.4 touchdown passes per game over his last 5 road games dating back to last season. So really good data across the board. And looking at the matchup here, we talked about already, Texas pass defense is not their strength. And overall this year, they ranked 72nd in the nation, giving up 1.5 touchdown passes per game on average. So Outlier listed as a neutral matchup, but it's really not that bad. And looking down below here now, Taylon Green for Arkansas, despite the fact they scored 37 points last week, he had 0 touchdown passes. But look at the weeks prior to that. Gunnar Stockton, 4 touchdown passes. Diego Pavia, 3. Blake Shapen, 4 for Mississippi State. If those guys are throwing 3 or 4, Marcel Reed should be able to put 2. Again, we're not asking for 3 or 4 or 5. 2 touchdown passes, and if he catches a plus money player prop. To me personally, that's really good. And you're getting a plus money too. To me, it's a home run player prop. I'm not really sure why you're getting a plus money, but hey, you know what? The sportsbooks are going to fumble and give it to us. I'll take it. And if this loses, obviously, this clip will age very poorly. But I can give you no realistic reason as to why you shouldn't go ahead and bet that player prop. So, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Until next time, hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money.